All these lies and delusions wake me up, show me a new dawn. Open your eyes, bright children of light. I am awakened, I am awakened. All these lies and delusions wake me up, show me a new dawn. Open your eyes, bright children of light. I am awakened, I am awakened. All these lies and delusions wake me up, show me a new dawn. Open your eyes, rise, children of light. I am awakened, I am awakened. Clear my mind and my soul. Gave me a new man. Oh, made me whole. I'll rise up. I'll be the new light. I am awakened. I am awakened. All these lies and delusions wake me up, show me a new dawn. Open your eyes, rise, children of light. I am awakened, I am awakened. Israelite's journey.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to all the Israelite fam out there. Hope everybody's Shabbat is blessed. Everybody who's keeping the feast of unleavened bread now, even for the brothers and sisters who kept the feast of unleavened bread earlier, or some might be keeping it later. We know that everybody's rehearsing the righteous acts, and I know some of us are just not on the same page, but we are trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there. Brother Najee.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. I want to start off by thanking you all for sharing your Sabbath with us. Like Brother Elisha just said, whether you're ending your feast days today or you haven't started yet or started way back, whatever you're doing and trying to keep the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, we want to thank you for joining us today. We got a good show for y'all today, so hope you guys enjoy.
Now, today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to actually be podcasting today. We're going to talk about a range of things, particularly the things that's going on in the earth. I know we're all interested in what's going on in the earth. I know everybody's talking about Vladimir Putin, opening the vaults. But this thing has actually been revealed a long time ago. This is like not nothing new that whether you're in Bovina, Russia, whether you're in Cascard, wherever you're at in Russia, that they know that the biblical figures that most religions mimic or for their ideology, that those people are black people or ones who have melanin or ones who are or people of color, that they're not Caucasoids or they're not Edomites or whatever you want to call the nations, that we are the people. They're not olive colored unless you're talking about black olives. We know nobody's a green olive. So the olive colored thing, you definitely got to be talking about the black ones. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the United Arab Emirates, the new deal with Iran. I can't say it's new because I know that I believe Beijing brokered that last year, But it is of importance that Saudi Arabia and Iran have a peace deal. Why is that important? So there's a multitude, even the Most High's name, given the current state of affairs and the fact that we believe in our deliverance, calling on the Most High's name as He gave it to us is important. The eclipse that's coming up now. Now people are talking about more things regarding that. Some people believe that's the day that the Mashiach is coming. Some people believe an alien invasion. Some you got all types of things that's going on. I know some people might have felt the earthquake that went down from New York to New Jersey to Philly. We're talking about the bridges where, the Baltimore bridge then went down. We talk about the fire under the bridge in Ohio. So you got all these things going on, and we're going to touch on a lot of those things. And feel free if you've seen some things that is pertinent to the conversation or to the discourse, and some things have moved in your spirit. We're going to adjust those things as well, brother Najee.
Yeah, let's not forget the cicadas.
Oh,
Hopefully,
cicadas. Go ahead, brother.
yeah. Did I pronounce that correctly? It's cicadas, cicadas.
Well, we'll just say locust then.
Yeah, exactly, because that's exactly what I think is going to be happening. We're going to have they call them broods, and they're expecting billions of these things to hatch all across the the southeast, I believe, of the United States. And that's going to be happening later this month. So that's
Hold
we're
on, hold
talking about a
on.
biblical proportion event. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, speculated that it's going to happen actually on April 8th. So I just wanted to say that. I speculate. We don't know for certain, but
Oh,
um,
did they actually say on the 8th that's
I
supposed to happen?
believe that video that I sent to you, they actually said on the 8th, like it was
Wow.
supposed to be on September 8th. Like, you still got that video? We can show it and we can just get to the bottom of it there.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up. I'm gonna go on mute for a second and try to pull that up.
All right. So while the brother is looking for that video, we're probably going to share that video, of course, under fair use. But what have people heard? What have people seen? Like, what do you personally believe? Regarding the events that's happening. Like, no, now people are talking about this particular earthquake that happened in the Northeast, leading up to the eclipse. Now, there's something else called we call it ellipse. I believe is if I'm pronouncing it right, called an ellipse. And Fox News, whether they did it bummingly, inadvertently, or advertently, revealed that there should be an earthquake that happens at the time of the eclipse. Is this shocking? No, if you look at some of the things that our fathers have said, and we'll case in point, we'll talk about Josephus or our brother, we'll put it that way, because our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, um, which is later named Israel, that inside those books, it talks about how there was an eclipse after Herod had killed two of the high priests, and that this eclipse happened right before his death. And that goes into what Philo said on the subject, which in fact, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show what Philo said about eclipse. Like these eclipse actually has some significance. Like these things that happen in the stars, the constellations have some significance. They are a sign of things. If you go back to the book of Genesis, these things are signs in the heavens, weather, disaster, all these things are signs that we can see in as they call the constellations, that these things are signs or can give us a future forecast. The same way the Mashiach said when he says it's red in the sky, that these cloudy clouds are coming over. You can see that the rain is coming. So all these things are forecasted in the heavens that the Most High has given us an inkling of what to be prepared for. So let me grab up this excerpt from Philo, if I can remember how to share my screen, and just to show that it has some significance. I know a lot of times everything is propped up in a certain type of way, but we'll go right here in the book of Philo. Let me get some ones if y'all can see my screen, brother Najee. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see the screen. Yep.
All right, so we're going to read a short excerpt from the book of Philo Judaeus. Some people call him an historian. Some people just say he's a philosopher. Either way, he was around during the first or the second temple period. He was around during the time that the Mashiach was around. So when we go into these writings, it's not that we're looking to biblically validate the brother. We're going into it to see and get an understanding of what people understood at the temple period. Like, how did they view things? What were their understanding? How did they discern the scriptures? How did they that had the genuine article? They actually had the scriptures in Hebrew, probably Paleo Hebrew, when before it was translated into the many translations. So, if y'all can see this, all right, love you, son. All right, sorry, talking to my son. Okay. All right, it says, for eclipses are a natural consequence of the rules which regulate the divine natures of the sun and moon. There are indications rather, either of the impending death of some king. We can verify that with Josephus, which said it was an eclipse when Herod died, through much suffering, deservingly so, considering how he treated our people, or of the destruction of some city. So an eclipse is an indication of destruction of some city. As Pendar also had told us in anatomical terms. I could actually pronounce that. I don't know why I'm mispronouncing it now. Alluding to such events as the consequences of the omens, which I have now been mentioned. So an eclipse is a sign that something magnanimous or different is going to happen in the earth. And now that we have an eclipse now that's coming along on April 8th, that happens every 400 years. I mean, that's the word, is that this type of eclipse, even though we had one eclipse last year, there's different types of eclipse. This total eclipse that's happening on April 8th actually happens every 400 years, as is stated. And that makes it different. That makes it different than just the normal thing. And that we can conclude that some magnanimous thing is going to happen. Something is going to happen as a result of this eclipse. Now, when we think about it, you hear about what they're calling is an ellipse, which we're supposed to have another earthquake on the day of this eclipse. Another earthquake. Now, we're going to play, brother. Do you got that information?
So you sent it to me. It is a what do you call that? TikTok video. I do not have TikTok,
All
so
right.
I wasn't able to pull it up.
So I'll send it to myself and I'll play the TikTok video. And then we're going to check out something about this ellipse that was spoken about on Fox News. But this is just where we
Right,
start now. We actually want to cover a bunch of things. All right, so let me
right,
grab
right.
this
So
video.
and while you're grabbing that up, just kind of do a basic here. I know that everybody is familiar with Genesis chapter 1, of course, right? But sometimes I think we kind of forget that what we're talking about here, especially with this eclipse, Brother Elisha just read out of the book of Philo and just kind of confirm the things that are kind of happening. Um, but I think sometimes we have to go back to scripture to just confirm that what we're saying is true and valid. And if we go to Genesis chapter 1 and we look at, let me start from verse 14, right? And the Most High said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmaments of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So we sometimes we just read over that and we like, oh, okay, that's the creation. That's where the Most High started everything. But we kind of forget the actual words that are being said there. Let them be for signs. Let them be for signs. And we forget that these things are actually in the sky, put in the heavens for signs. And we also forget who these signs are for. These signs are for the people of the Most High. As history went on and history went on, and we're not talking about the old world so much anymore, because we know that all the people died in the flood. The new world was started, and Noah repopulated the earth with him and his sons. But so we have to, be aware that these signs, when they're put into these constellations that were made by the Most High, is put in the heavens for signs, for the Most High's people. And I think sometimes we forget that. Brother Bonner, how you
Brother
doing?
Brian, Shabbat Shalom, brother.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, family. How y'all doing, man?
Doing well, doing
So,
well.
Yeah, man. Some construction work going on over here, so I don't want to keep my mic on like that. You know, I was listening into the show. And it's a lot of things that's correlating with our exodus that's going on right now and today. Even the smallest thing that you may not even understand that was spoken for time, like the earthquakes and what Vladimir Putin is doing and things like that. When we read in the scripture, what the Most High did in Egypt. He said he delivered us with plagues and through wars and all kinds of different things. So, you know, don't be surprised of what you see happening and keep your eyes on the signs.
and exactly, and also with what the brother was saying with the signs is that one of the key things Moses said to Pharaoh when these signs were happening. I mean, tell you, matter of fact, there's some signs that we're not talking about, which I'm gonna mention real quick. Is that we're not saying let us go. That's the only difference now. Like we're actually looking with bewilderment at a lot of these signs. We're actually looking at these signs and like, oh, what's going to happen next? But we're not saying let us go. We're not representing that these things are for us, for the deliverance of our people. And let me tell you that this is just a foreshadow. I believe if you look at April 8th, that is a sign of the true judgments intensifying on earth. Let's give an example of that, and I'm just going to read them off real quick. And I know the news is probably where most of us have seen some of these things, but we're just going to do a quick recap. You have on April 5th, the earthquake that happened in New Jersey and happened in New York, happened in Philly. You have the Situate Masswich March 24, a massive wave crashing into homes. You got the Halayan City, Taiwan, April 7th, I believe, earthquake. Not April 7th, because I know we're in the 6th, but it happened in April. Earthquake, I think it was a 7.2 brother magnitude earthquake that happened in Taiwan. They're still recovering the bodies of what happened there inside that particular situation. We got the Baltimore City or Baltimore Key Bridge, the collapse of that bridge. If anybody's seen the video where the ship just turned right into the pillars that are the foundation of the bridge. I mean, there's videos on that, and we're not going to go down the conspiracy loophole because Mosai said we're not supposed to say Confederate. What are you conspiracy? We're not supposed
Right.
to even
Yeah.
be concerned with those things. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I just wanted something about that bridge that I heard, and I'm not sure that this is true. So just check me on this. But the name of the bridge was what?
Um,
Anybody
from my
know that?
understanding, it was called Baltimore Key Bridge.
Okay, so it was something I heard, and I just don't know if this is true, but it was named after the person who wrote the Star Spangled Banner.
That's not Benjamin Banneker. No, that's not Benjamin
Okay.
Banneker.
All right. So maybe I would. Okay, somebody in the in the
Francis
in the
Scott
chat,
Key.
Francis Scott Key. So the name of the bridge was the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Well, it does say it is called Baltimore Key Bridge. So his name or his last name, his is actually or his surname is inside the name of the bridge, Key. Now,
Mm,
could say it's the key, and if you look at the significance of the bridge, it is the key to a lot of um, agricultural things that go into the city of Baltimore, particularly for that particular city and county, but also supposed to have some significance to the surrounding areas regarding agriculture, regarding
mm,
oil, natural fuel. When I say natural fuels, but I think chemical whatever. Yeah, I don't know the word to put for it, but I guess you could just say chemical resources.
mm,
So supposedly it can cause it spark, and also certain foods that might cause that area to be real hard pressed if anything else happens when it comes to
mm,
getting these things into the city. Um, and that
mm,
bridge was the key to getting it in there. So you knock that out now. how are we going to get the things that's imported into that area, amongst other things that's a particular port supposed to have some significance regarding getting things into the country.
Right, right. Okay, okay. And we had some of the fam in the chat. We just put some of that stuff up. Was clarifying. I don't know. I think for that to happen, I just don't think anything is a coincidence these days.
Yo,
I
brother,
just
grab
don't
up
think it is.
if you don't mind, grab up a video real quick showing the turn on. Like, 'cause, I mean, I think I sent you one. See if you can grab one so we can just for the people that didn't see it
Hmm.
can take a look at it, because it was a so there's a white dude who did a video and who did a good job talking about it was the ship was anchored in a place it shouldn't have been anchored, and it actually helped the boat to actually go straight into the pillar. Now, what's odd about that is that the same thing happened in Spain. No, I'm sorry, not Spain, but Finland. You had a tanker ship crash into the port in Finland, knocking down some of the cranes. Then you had the same type of situation happen in Oklahoma, where a tanker hit some of the pillars. It just didn't knock down the bridge, but it looks like that was the intent. Kind of made the same gesture of motion. And then you have, well, another situation under a bridge in Ohio. So what's the main thing about knocking out these bridges? A bridge is a source to get in and out of a place. Like you think about, if you're from New Jersey, I'm from New Jersey, from Camden, New Jersey. You got several bridges that go into Philly, like the Benjamin Franklin Bridge, the Walt Whitman Bridge. You got the uh the Commodore Barry Bridge. Well, you got several bridges that help you get into the Philadelphia area. You knock those bridges out, you're not getting over here.
Right, right,
Bridges, usually when you see bridges, you see ports. You see tankers that come in from other places that bring all the goods that you might buy on your shelves. Now, it's not a coincidence that four bridges had the same situation happen in the last in within a couple of days of itself. Now, you hadn't heard of nothing like that for years. I mean, I can't even say years. I've never heard about a ship hitting a bridge foundation, but you have four of them within several days of itself. What's the motivation? And then you're hearing about the National Guard because of the eclipse, and that's a whole nother direction we're going down. And I don't know what stuff is getting flagged on YouTube. It's just to say this: it's not a peculiar thing that these bridges are under attack. And what would be the motivation to isolate the ones that rely on that particular thing to get in and out or to receive resources? It'll make you dependent on whoever can provide the resources. And in the sake, if you look at the movie Leave the World Behind, which we actually did a review on, the same thing happened in that movie after the cyber attack. The ship, the tanker ship, just rolled up on the beach. Um, and we're looking at, what they call it, art imitates life, or life imitates art. It's funny how in that movie that happened, and then maybe some months later we're dealing with that exact issue. Not so much of a chemical, a cyber attack, but that these ships, these tankers that we've never heard of having these type of incidents, all of a sudden they're happening now.
right, right.
What's the
Let me
motivation?
Yeah, let me hit this kind of, it's a just a kind of a 20-second video. I'm not
Hit
sure
that fair
exactly.
use, brother.
Oh, fair use, of course. Second.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. And this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Yeah, brother Cleo sounds like a college professor when he's reading that.
Yeah, it's definitely a suitable name,
All
Professor.
right. All right, let me see if I could play this. Let me know if you brothers can hear it.
We can see it, can't hear it yet. No sound.
Can't hear it?
Nah, I can't hear it.
No sound. All right. Think I'm
Does it
doing
sound
something
necessary?
wrong here. Probably not. Probably not. Let me just
Yeah,
play it. It's only 20 seconds.
yeah. Yeah, and I noticed in the news they were talking about how they found 3 more bodies um, in this
Mm,
particular situation. I don't know if they were in cars. I don't know what the situation was, but they found 3 more bodies as a result of this bridge collapsing.
mm.
Now, brother, you want to break down what we was looking at there?
Well, that what they were doing was those were some of the workers who were recovering some of the debris and picking up
Hmm.
some of the debris that they found there. They did name y'all can hear it, and my apologies for that. I always think I need some training in how to do this. Uh, how to present this stuff. But they did confirm that the name was the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And they were just those were the workers just recovering some of the debris. And that was it. That's what that 20-second video was about.
All right, so those who haven't seen the actual knock on the bridge, I'm going to take us to a video real quick. I mean, we don't got. I don't think we got to do the fair use again, but
Yeah, we could just say it before we play it. Yeah.
yeah, fair use. So I'm going to link us to this video real quick. So let me share my screen, and then we're going to get deeper into the situation, which is necessary. All right, so which one is it? All right, we're gonna just go here and make it easy just to send it to my own phone. Can y'all hear it?
Nah, I can't hear anything yet.
Can you hear it? Oh, let me see.
Nah.
All right,
Mm.
no sound. All right, so we're gonna do it this way then. All right, give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. You know, greet everybody that you ain't greet yet. Give me 2 shakes. You know, all right, here we go. Brother Bonnie is actually the professional at doing this stuff. I think is here we go. I think it's this one. So I got the sound on. Let's see. Tell me if y'all can hear it now.
Right turn.
Now we can hear it. Yep.
All right,
Perfect.
let me turn it up.
True. Yeah, the ship did drop anchor. On the port side, the left. If it dropped anchor on the starboard side, then maybe you could attribute this hard right turn to that, sure. But it didn't. This also doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This is the route that the ship took leaving port. And this is the point where it turned right into the bridge. All you would see is the bow of the ship, the front. But here you can clearly see the starboard side. And this is more than just a slight right turn, anchor or not, right? Not to mention the detonation points at the top of the bridge, here, here, and here. Look, believe what you want, but this is a situation that has a lot of questions surrounding it. They've already come back and said that the 6 that were missing are presumed to be gone. It's a tragic event, and we need answers. And the impact to the area is going to be long-lasting, no matter what way you look at it.
All right, so if you seen how the ship turned right into the foundation of the bridge. Now that's kind of hard to do. Like, you know, I mean, that's hard to do, to turn directly into it if the purpose was to go under the bridge, which I'm pretty sure they've done thousands and thousands of times, like, you know, over the years, that it just turned into it. So, you know, it looks like something ominous. It looks like something that might be look, it needs to be looked in further. We'll put it that way. That way we won't be putting out disinformation. But it turned right into the bridge. And it's one thing if it looks, in the comments they said purposed. So we're just quoting what they said. But and our sentiments would be the same. But it looks even more egregious when you have 3 other circumstances like that in the matter of a couple days. And considering that they're calling in the so-called National Guard in the different places. Why would these bridges be under some type of danger? which is the way that people get in and out of a city. Have you ever seen the movie Leave the Borough Behind, when the Teslas, they all piled up on the bridges to remove that access point? That's an interesting thing, that you will want to take away these access points, and for what? For what reason? Brother Najee, you want to say something to
Hey, Sister CC, I'm doing okay. Actually, it's early morning for me. I usually take a rest, so um, my voice is probably just waking up. So thank you for the prayers, but I'm doing okay. I wanted to say, in the video, there's what's curious to me is those detonation points, where it almost looks like there are slight explosions that the person on the video is kind of pointing out. Um, that's kind of interesting. It kind of takes me back to some of the uh, I
that? Just be
guess you could
careful.
call what say again? Yeah,
All right.
I'm trying to be careful.
Just be,
It takes me back to some of the conspiracy theories of
about them buildings.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't want to go any deeper, but I think everybody knows what I'm referring to. That's what it kind of puts me in mind of.
Right. So we're noticing that these things, Brother Brown, did you want to say anything to that? He'll come in if he's ready. So, like,
Yeah.
we're looking at these things, we're observing these things, and we're talking about the whole climate of what's going on in the earth right now. It's not one thing, it's not two things. I mean, you're talking about, if you really focused in on what's happening, we're talking about a lot of things that can bring uneasiness to the spirit, to make the soul mourn, because you're looking at these things in its totality. And bringing up totality, we're going to go into the cicadas real quick. I'm gonna bring that up so we can um, do that, brother. Fair use. Let me know if y'all can hear the video. But now we're gonna go into the cicadas that's supposed to be released around the time of April 8th, when this eclipse happens. Like that, this is a natural occurrence, but it happens every 400 years. So what's the significance with the 400 years? And my bad, brother. Can you grab up Micah 2:1 for me real quick, just to kind of in that our dialogue on the ships.
Micah two
Mike,
and one, no problem.
like a lot of these things that look staged is for a reason. It's always like you're looking for the public's responses to emergency. Like when you look at your TV and maybe at the middle of the night, every night it'll come on and to say emergency broadcast. This is only a test. What would happen if it wasn't a test? Micah 2:1, brother.
All right. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. Excuse me. When morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
Like right now, we're feeble. We don't have no ability to deliver ourselves, like it talks about in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. We cannot deliver ourselves. No power in our hand that we can deliver ourselves. We're at the mercy of those who try these different things on earth. And I mean, if you want to go into the countless things that you see online when you're talking about Project Blue, and I'm trying to aim, and all these other things that's manifesting in the heavens, manifesting in different remote parts of the earth, angels and all these things. Like you got the mall situation in Florida. You got all these things being shown out there that people are just all over the place, but they always throw out a practice run. They always test what they're about to do to see your reaction to it. Are they docile enough? Are they waiting for us to give instructions? Like it says in Lamentation, they search for a nation they cannot save. They want you to lean on them because they're in their power. They're not going to save you. They're the ones who's putting the foot on your neck. So we're going to check out this video real quick. Fair use once again, and we're going to show this situation on April 8th. So if everybody can see that, brother, let me know if it can be heard.
This is bonkers.
Yep, we can see it in here, bro.
All right, bro.
Because billions of bugs are going to emerge out of the ground on April the 8th.
Well, get ready, Chicago.
We're not talking about the eclipse.
2 two broods of cicadas.
Cicadas were set to see billions, possibly even more cicadas this spring.
What makes this rather unusual is that both broods are emerging during the same year.
We used to call them locusts.
It has just been revealed that during America's much anticipated eclipse, something else incredible is about to happen. Billions and billions of cicadas are going to burst out of the earth after being dormant for over 13 years.
So millions and millions and millions of cicadas are supposed to burst out of the earth after so many years, specifically on April 8th. So, I mean, if we look at all the things that's supposed to happen on April 8th, amongst other things, they're supposed to be releasing some device looking for the God particle there, which I believe is from, what is it, Centrus? I can't remember the pronunciation of the name. You have the earthquake that's supposed to hit on April 8th. Now you have these cicadas, or what we would call locusts, the same way they changed the name of leprosy to vitiligo. They changed the name of locusts to cicadas to throw us off the biblical sin of a thing. But brother, I know you wanted to address that.
No, you covered it pretty well. I thought it was. I think that's incredible, because if you guys remember, maybe was it even before the pandemic? I'm not sure, but there was in the South there was a brood, like a brood of cicadas. They were kind of populating some areas, and people were like, "What are these things?" And that was, kind of when they first came out. I think what we're about to see with these new broods that are coming, it's going to be like, even like, some news reports are saying it's going to be like, they're using the phrase biblical proportions. So I I just think this is this time is incredible, man. There are no coincidences here.
Well, I mean, just as a reminder of the locusts that did that showed up in the first Egypt, or the first house of bondage. We know we're in spiritual Egypt. Brother, you don't mind, you grab up Exodus 10 and 12, I believe. Read down to 19, Exodus 10 and 12. As a matter of fact, read down to 20. And all these things look biblical. As we just stated inside the book of Philo, he talks about these things usually there's some type of sign. These things are supposed to be a sign from the Most High. These things are not the doom. This is not the end. This is the sign. And whatever happens on April 8th is what happens there outside the sign is given for them to, okay, this is one of your final warnings, is a lot of things that they're causing on the earth. Let me get, and we also can talk about the 3 days of night inside Egypt. Looking at the eclipse, you got them saying you need provisions for what, 3 weeks? They're talking about. Why is that you need provisions for 3 weeks? Because of this eclipse. People are going to loot. What is the motivation behind that? But we do know when the sun is darkened, it is a sign of the Most High. We know that these cicadas or locusts are a sign of the Most High, and preeminently, as we'll see here, they have to do with the Most High's people, particularly in this climate after the 400 years is up. That us saying "let us go" was very, very prevalent right now. Go ahead, brother.
Mhm. And the Most High said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come up upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail hath left. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the coast of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field through all the land of Egypt. Continue.
No, just up to 20.
All
So
right.
up to verse 20, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against the Most High, your Elohim, and against you. Now therefore forgive, I pray thee, my sin only this once, and entreat the Most High, your Elohim, that he may take away from me this death only. And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Most High. And the Most High turned a mighty strong wind, which took away the locusts and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coast of Egypt. But the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go.
And it's important to state that the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart. But when we look at hardening of the heart, was that there were things that he allowed Pharaoh to do exactly what was in Pharaoh's heart to do. He allowed Pharaoh to say, "Oh, that was something natural. Oh, that doesn't necessarily mean God did it." And it's no different than what we do today. So if there's a thing that'll make you not believe God or the Most High, that's what is called the heart in your heart, to make your heart abstinent or obstinate. That there is something that'll make you disbelieve the Most High, and it's only certain people that have that particular trait in them. Those who are actually lawless, those who are not going to believe the Most High no matter what happens. That's what it means to have your heart hardened, because there should be nothing that'll make you disbelieve the Most High. He's supposed to be your fear. He's supposed to be your dread. So when it says Pharaoh's heart was hard, it wasn't saying that Pharaoh was a righteous man or that he could be righteous. And the Most High said, you know what, I'm going to just make him wicked for this purpose. No, it was already in Pharaoh to be disbelieving. It was already in Pharaoh to be unfaithful. It was already in Pharaoh to exact or to practice or to do the wicked thing that he did, even to the Creator, even to the detriment and destruction of all his people. Brother, you want to say something?
There's a question on here by Bible English. He says, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so excuse me if I have that incorrect. He says the 400 years ended in 2019, correct? By what date does the second Exodus need to occur in order for us to conclude that we were wrong about the interpretation? We haven't pushed any particular date on when the Exodus or the 400 years ended. That's you might want to look at our presentation called the 400-year prophecy, truth versus scoffers. Our understanding on the 400 years is based strictly off of scripture and not off of any particular date sets. But even so, the Most High says after the 400 years he would judge this place, right? And then we would come out with great substance. So the Exodus doesn't start until after the judgment, all right? Scripture doesn't say we leave in 400 years. Scripture says, if you read it chronologically, the judgment starts after 400 years. All right. Any brothers want to address that?
Yeah. I like to address that as well. Brother Najee, you don't have a problem with, can you grab me Galatians 3:17? Let me make this statement real quick. In Jeremiah the 29th chapter, it says 70 years should be accomplished at Babylon. My Bible English, how long did it take the children of Israel, when you go into the book of Nehemiah, he says the Most High has delivered the people according to Deuteronomy 30 and 30. When he said that the Most High put in his heart, nobody knew what was in his heart to do at Jerusalem. How long did it take our people to leave from that captivity before they have inhabited Jerusalem again? How long was that, Bible English? From the time that the Most High says 70 years be accomplished, and that 70 years is up, how long did it take our people to be fully established back in the land of Israel? I'll give you two shakes to answer that question. And I'm matter of fact, I'll be more specific. Did it take more or less than 4 years? You can Google that, and if you just want to answer historically how long it took them, you can Google that if you want to. So just to make a long story short, it actually took them over 20, I think it was 18 to 20 years before they were fully back, our people were fully back in Jerusalem after the 70 years was accomplished. So we're not saying, we never said that exactly 2019 or 1619 to 2019 was the dates. That we were taught by the heathen that 1619 was when in Jamestown, Virginia was the first slave was sold. But we have this understanding right here. Brother, read Galatians 3 and 17, and we'll take it back to Jeconiah real quick. We'll just speak on that.
All right. Galatians 3 and 17. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of the Most High in Christ, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul, that it should make the promise of none effect.
Should make the promise of none effect. We also want to go down one more second to verse and read this verse with this one real quick. Verse, 1 second. Read verse 16 and then read 17 again.
All right,
That's
no
like read
problem.
16 and then read 17 after I address 16.
No problem. Now Abraham and his seed were the promises made. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He said not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ.
A lot of people don't know about the 400-year prophecy is that it wasn't that just any so-called black person could be sold into slavery out of Africa or anywhere else. It's actually a particular seed of the royal line of Judah that had to go into captivity. It wasn't just that anybody, because that was the case, then we can trace back slavery, or at least being brought from the coastal islands or the coast of Africa back to the 1500s. Some may even say the 1400s. And that would put us well over 600 years. So Jamestown, Virginia, 1619 is just a broad understanding that we've been given in our remedial learning in the public school system. But if some historian was to come along, he would say, y'all were going into slavery a little bit before that, maybe in the 1400s, the 1500s. So why not trigger the 400 years then? Because it was never about just any of the tribe of Judah going into slavery. It was of a particular seed of the tribe of Judah going into slavery. If you ever seen the movie Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis in it, there was a guy in there where when they were delivering the people out, nobody knew that he was of the royal line of that particular tribe. And it was really all about him. He hid amongst the people. It wasn't about those people, but it was about that particular royal line. That's the same thing with the prophecy of the 400 years. It was about a particular seed going into captivity for 400 years. It was a particular seed of the tribe of Judah. That line triggered the prophecy, not just any brother from our people being sold.
Yeah, I would like
That's
to
why.
address another. I would
Yep.
like to address another thing that Bible English says. It says, "By what year do you start to doubt this interpretation? If it does not come to pass by 2030, do you doubt 2050? By what date can you conclude that we were wrong?" All right. So here's the issue. It's really a issue of whether or not you believe the Bible or not, right? And it's really cut and clean, because if you have a situation in the Bible when God is saying something is supposed to come to pass, and then you read the scripture and you study and you investigate all the scripture to find out if that particular prophecy came to pass and it didn't come to pass. All right, we're not talking about a prophecy where God says one particular person's going to do something. It's very clear that 400 years of affliction must be accomplished by the children of Israel in a land that is not theirs. We don't see these things happening in the Bible. We don't see these particular stipulations being fulfilled in any prophecy that we read. So, because we believe the Bible and what's written in the Bible, and we believe God, we understand that if it did not come to pass where we're reading, then it must come to pass in the future. All right. So when we start talking about 2030, 2050, that's irrelevant. It's about whether or not we believe what God said, and we have proven without a shadow of a doubt that it did not happen in Egypt. It's one thing to go 2 or 3 years over 400 years during the judgment, but it's a totally different thing to not even hit the mark of 200 years of affliction and have what 230, what was it, 400 150 years?
It was less than 150 years of total affliction.
215 years in Egypt. That's the amount of time they dwelt there. All right. And that's not including the time that they were afflicted. So if it didn't happen in Egypt, it's very simple. It must be happening now because we believe the Bible.
And there's also some debate whether 1619, you can if you look at the Hebrew calendar, the Hebrew year, you can look at our captivity can be anywhere between 2019 and 1624 as being a triggering point, or even longer than that. So like the brother said, we believe the Bible. We never gave any dates, but we do know the judgments have been being poured out on America. Even if you watch the news, it talks about these are biblical like plagues, biblical like events. Now, whether you want to recognize them or not is irrelevant to the case, and you can make the object of your affection how long we may wait to leave here, but it'd be a lot sooner than you think, very soon. So that's a different. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother Bonnie. Go
Just
ahead, bro.
one more thing. I mean, we're talking about 2050, 2030. How long, even if you don't know the Bible, how long do you think this place will last under its
Won't be that
current condition? All right, under its current condition of all the things that's going on in this place, how long do you think this place has? You know, so people really need to just kind of, like Mashiach said, you can look up in the sky and you can see that it's going to rain. All right, you can discern the weather. All right, but you don't have any discernment of the times because you're not using, I don't want to say using your brain, but you're not using upright understanding of what's going on around you. All right, the things that's happening today, even if you don't have any biblical knowledge, this place don't have much time left.
Yeah, I just wanted to just kind of interject here. Um, I don't think that anybody has to believe in exact dates and times. Like Brother Bonya just said, it is absolutely clear that we are in a time like never before. In our awakening, we are set to understand, as the people of the Most High, we are set to understand what the Most High said when He created the signs in the heavens. And I just read in Genesis 1 how these constellations were created for signs for the people of the Most High. Now, if you don't believe in the 400-year prophecy, and you think the dates of 1619 and 2019 are off, you have to take heed and understand that this coming eclipse, coupled with what was done, the eclipse that was done and completed in 2017, is not a coincidence. And I just want to go real quick. I'm just going to take y'all real quick. I'm already sharing my screen. This is Matthew chapter 24, and I'm just going to read right here from verse 29. I'm going to read 29 and 30. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Now, we don't know the actual time frame in between these sentences. But if you are a child of the Most High, if you have been awakened and know that you are Israelite, and you cannot read this sign and realize that this eclipse is the sign of the Son of Man appearing in the heaven, Hebrew letters, the Aleph and the Tav appearing in the heavens over the Americas, over the
Brother,
United States of
brother,
America,
brother,
rather.
grab up a picture of that while you're talking about it. If you don't mind, you can Google. Matter of fact, I'll Google a picture for you.
Yeah, yeah, and but if you cannot read that sign, now I know that everybody can't read the sign. Excuse me, I saw some. I've been looking on YouTube and the news, and I saw some people trying to read this, and some of the things that they were coming up with, just like crazy stuff. But I think the Most High, through Yahushua HaMashiach, is making this clear to us that this is the sign of the Son of Man being written in the heavens. So what comes after this and the date that it comes, who knows? Who cares? Really, who cares? The fact that it is a sign should be enough for us. This should be enough for us. That's all I gotta say.
Here's another interesting thing that's going on with that particular eclipse. All right, so we have the Aleph and the Tav. The Tav represents completion. All right, both of them together is the Most High's name, the Aleph and the Tav. The Tav represents completion, and the Tav's numerical value is 400. Now, the news was talking about they're rolling out the National Guard across the country for this particular eclipse. And the question was asked is, we've had eclipse before. Why are we rolling out the National Guard on this eclipse? And why is this eclipse so significant? And what the anchor woman said is that this particular eclipse is different from all the others because it only happens every 400 years. All right. So these things cannot be coincidence. All right. You have the book first and foremost saying what would play out, what would be the stipulations. 400 years of affliction in a land that's not theirs. They should judge, right? They should serve them, and after that, I would judge them, and then they should come out with great substance. And then you turn around and you see this path of the eclipse that happens to form the Aleph and the Tav, which represents 400 again, and everything else that I just said. So I mean, there's a lot of coincidence going on here. So whether
Yeah,
you choose to believe it or not, the information, the signs are there.
right. And even the signs of the eclipse with the earthquake, and we'll check out a quick video on that. But you notice the Aleph and the Tav representing the eclipse that happened in 2017 and its pathway through the United States, and this one now. You if you believe in coincidence and you believe that it can perfectly mean in his understanding 400 years, it means 400 years, just that you're seeing the X or the Ta, and that its pathway actually makes an olive in Ta. This, if that's not a sign to you of the Most High speaking, if the Most High is giving Pharaoh some time to say, hey, listen, let my people go. If they want to listen, and then at this point it's actually too late. But if that's not a sign to you, then maybe you need to re-examine your own faith, your own belief. Nothing happens in this life through happenstance. So let me share my screen real quick, and we're gonna check out this quick little video. Make sure y'all hear it. Tell me, can you hear it, brother?
Yeah, we can hear it. Fair use.
Fair use. Let's make sure I can turn it. I don't think I could turn it up no louder than that. But we'll just play. So we'll play that one more time.
You should shoot me that link, bro. You should shoot me the link and I'll play it because it's coming in a bit muffled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
can
low.
hear it, but it's really muffled. Yeah.
It's real low. I don't know why it's low, but when he makes the statement, transformative experience. Now, mind you, this is not something that, and I'll give you the link if you think it'll play better on yours. I'll put it in the private real quick. But just to address something that he said about the that this eclipse is along with the earthquake is in the private, brother. He said it should be a transformative experience. Now you got this thing going on online about the new map of America, which actually shows that some parts of the country is just say transformed with certain waters covering certain places and geographical locations in this country. Now I don't know if that's what he was talking about, but that seems to be the hype, at least far as on the online train. We're not getting behind any of it or not. It's not that we're getting behind any of it. We're just mentioning it that those two things are synonymous with each other. They go together. This has been the understanding that's being given out, is that this is what some people believe. So when he made the statement, a transformative experience, where is he going with that? That this earthquake that nobody's talking about, like they're not mentioning the earthquake is supposed to follow the eclipse, even though we read in Philo that an eclipse or earthquake can come, is a sign of an eclipse or comes with an eclipse. Go ahead, brother, if you want to play the video. Brother Bonnie?
I think he's probably still trying to grab it up.
Yeah, it's in the private.
Yeah, it wasn't you. It was the video itself. I was seeing if I could find it somewhere else.
All right, but see if you can grab it up, brother, and we'll poly on that. As I was saying about some of the ideas that it's supposed to reshape this country. Like you've had these things being said for years, and it depends on who you're listening to. That some events, whether it be, and I know we haven't planned on talking about this, but even about Yellowstone erupting, some people believe that if Yellowstone National Park erupted, it would change the landscape of this country. And there are some fears right now of the eruption of Yellowstone National Park, which has been a long-standing fear within this country. The people or the elites, or even the people who in the know, or even the people that's paying attention, know that the current landscape of this country is not supposed to sustain. It's always some vision of some place here being taken underwater or something like that. And even looking at the earthquake that just happened in New York, I'm in New Jersey, happened here too, that a bolt of lightning hit the Statue of Liberty right there on the torch. A bolt of lightning, and in my estimation, to me, it looked like the formation of the lightning looked like an ayin in the Hebrew language. Now, mind you, that's something I'm noticing. I'm not gonna say the significance of that, but it looked like an ayin in my estimation. But that lightning hitting that torch with the thunderstorms and things like that, we're talking about representations that look like Isaiah the 14th chapter, talking about "O Lucifer, how art thou fallen, O son of the morning." And so, is this the man that caused the nation to tremble? Lucifer being light bearer, and that's what your Statue of Liberty is. If anybody know what's going on with the swimmer, the dude, Rhea Gaines or something like that, that they want this man to swim in the Olympics. Why am I bringing that up? That they want a man to swim in the Olympics as a woman, competing against the women. Is because at the Olympics, you have something else called the light bearer. Before the Olympics even kick off, they pay homage to the Roman gods, going back to the Egyptian gods, going back to the ancient Babylonian gods, where they have the light bearer run and they light the torch, giving even more special significance to the fact that one of the biggest stories that will be covered there, if they make it to the Olympics, is that the United States plans to have a man or a cross-dresser or transgender, whatever way you want to slice it, representing a woman, similar to the Statue of Liberty, that also looks like one of those Leonardo da Vinci frescoes or whatever you want to call it, where they tend to always merge a man and a woman together. If you want to look at those things and say, hey, they have some connection, that the light bearer represents Lucifer. Not as the Christians teach or how religion teaches it, talking about some angel or some fallen angel named Lucifer, but that Lucifer represents a nation and its fall. And what is that representation of that nation? You see that every time you go to New York, you see that Statue of Liberty, you see a Lucifer, you see a light bearer. All right, brother, you playing this video?
Yeah, let me see if it sounds better over here. I'm gonna play it now. Tell me if you can hear it.
Something to have lived through this, the strongest earthquake in 140 years, John.
Look at all that. And it's not over yet because we've got the eclipse earthquake coming up on Monday. As Deborah Ross was telling us, it's going to be a transformative experience for anybody who was in the area of totality.
The eclipse earthquake. So they're expecting an earthquake to happen on the eclipse also?
Right. And they're calling the name an ellipse. Now you got people on TikTok that's actually doing experiments of an ellipse, showing that only an ellipse can happen that causes an earthquake in the situation of a dome. Oddly enough, talking about the earth. Talk about if you have a dome over the earth, it would cause an ellipse if the sun was to cross or during an eclipse. And what they're calling this earthquake is it's called an ellipse, not the eclipse, but ellipse, and that represents this earthquake that's supposed to happen that follows this eclipse on April 8th. So now we got so much stuff going on. You got these heathens trying to find the God particle on April 8th, letting this machine go. You got speculations. As one pastor was talking about it, which was real interesting, where he was talking about they know that we're made of matter and they're looking to make antimatter weapons because they believe this is something they're going to be able to fight the Mashiach with. As asinine and as crazy as they may sound, they do side with the unclean spirits. So obviously they believe there's a way, if they go back to the roots of the world and its beginning and what makes us up, they feel like they can find a particle or something that they can weaponize against the incoming war that's being brought on this earth. All this fake alien invasion stuff that they've been propping up since the 1980s. With George Bush talking about, Ronald Reagan talking about how all the nations, they would stop fighting with each other if there was some common threat. Parroted by George Bush Sr. Why would that happen? Why wouldn't you make it happen to cause their nations to unite? And it perfectly goes in symmetry with Second Ezra, chapter 13, when it says all the nations stop fighting with each other to battle him who came out of the sea. All these things are lined up with this small alien stuff down there in Florida, that these fallen angels been running around in synthetic bodies for the last 2,000, 3,000 years. Look at the movie Fallen, how they inhabit a host. These are the things that are being perpetuated on earth. This is not the topic that we actually plan on talking about, but a lot of these things go together. A lot of these things is what you're living, you're seeing in your lifetime. You're like witnessing them practicing these things through movies, through hypnosis, all these other things that's going on, and they're practicing this stuff out that we're watching right now. You know, anybody else want to say anything on the subject?
Nah, bro. I think you covered it.
Yeah.
And it kind of a. Oh, Brother Bonnie, did you want to add something to that?
No, I was just repeating your sentiment. Say he pretty much covered it.
All right, so going along with this subject and all the other things, the rumors of wars that's going on right now. They want a man to swim as a woman. Yeah, there's actually, look it up. It's Rhea Gaines or something like that. You have another white woman that's actually went before Congress because she's complaining because she's an actual swimmer, and she she's saying that this man was obscure as a male swimmer, and all of a sudden now he's on Sports Illustrated because he's swimming as a woman. And the United States wants this man to swim in the Olympics. Now, I don't know, all the other nations, they probably at their wits end saying, we're about to attack y'all anyway. So, I'm pretty sure they're not going to allow that. But it's going to be quite the circus when if it makes it to that point. How does connect to Vladimir Putin? Another thing that's going on in the earth. Everybody's talking about Vladimir Putin going into the vaults, and he released some images of Black Jesus and the different prophets and biblical figures being Black. Now, there's some things online that's not exactly, real, or, the some of the things have been manipulated. But one thing is true. He did show some of these images that prove that the people in the Bible, at least in the context of coming from that direction, are Black people. But I'm gonna show something real quick, and we're going to get behind the motivation for that. Like, why is it that is important now? And was it a political motivation? Like, is it preempting something? Because it's not just as simple as him revealing some images. Now, some happened earlier, but there are actually some that happened back in 2013 where I believe that Vladimir Putin gave up a particular artifact or image of biblical figures that were Black. He gave them over to, I believe, some diplomat of Ukraine. And that happened back in 2023. But I just want to show something real quick. So let me turn my camera on. Go ahead, bro.
While you're doing that, Brother Lasha, I just want to clarify what Brother Lasha is saying, because I was we had this discussion, and I was a bit confused as to what Brother Elisha was saying. So recently, there has been some videos coming out where a translator, a supposed translator, is saying that Vladimir Putin is making some statements that he is not actually making. This is not what Brother Elisha is talking about right now. What Brother Elisha is talking about right now is years ago. Now, these videos came out years and years ago of Vladimir Putin just showing, he's not actually revealing them. He's just showing some very old art painting of Black religious figures, if I can put it that way. That's what Brother Elisha is talking about right now. So we know that there's been some fake stuff coming out, some fake translations of speeches that Vladimir Putin made. That is not what Brother Elisha is talking about right now. Just want to make that clear before you went on, Brother Elisha.
Now I want y'all to be real clear on this, like the motivation behind revealing such pictures. Now let's just do a quick history lesson, if we want to call it that. The so-called Jewish people was given the land of Palestine during the League of Nations, and America and Great Britain got together and do this to give them so-called a Jewish state. Now, this Jewish state is supposed to be that they're actually descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is why they have the land. And this is why, if you look at the current climate, them battling the Palestinians, it's been about borders. The borders have increased. They've taken more and more and more and more of the land every year since they've gone into what they call the 6-Day War. When they had the 6-Day War, they've been taking every bit more of the land every day, or every time they have some type of conflict, they've been taking more and more of the land. But does it stop there? Everybody knows that, and I believe it even speaks about Gaza in the Bible. One of the brothers want to grab that up. That they're going to push their way through the Palestinians into Syria. This is why you had a lot of the hoopla back years ago about the Syrian president, so-called gassing his own people. It was some stuff talking about, yeah, he gassed his own people. This was to villainize. This was to delegitimize that government, to make them out to be monsters, because they always knew that America and the so-called Jewish power is going to push their way through Palestine. That's a given. And they're going to go into Syria. Then they're going to go into Damascus. And that's going to lead them right up to the Euphrates River, oddly enough, just close enough to continue that war with Iraq and Iran, and never mind the fact that they've already battle with Afghanistan and Pakistan, but all that stuff is in the same area. But they know that they're going to keep pushing forward. So you had a diplomat from Iran was in front of the House in America, and he said that if America keeps supporting the genocide in Palestine, that America won't go unpunished. He basically was saying, I guarantee something's going to happen on this land and on these borders that we live in, that this country will know what it's like to be war torn, that this country will know what it's like to not have no normalcy, that normalcy will go out the window when you got to worry about bombs and all this other stuff happening. So this is the motivation behind them going into Palestine and Syria. Now, what does that have to do with the Russians? Now, we just spoke about how Iran and Saudi Arabia brokered a peace deal, not by America, but by Beijing. China is the one who helped broker that deal. We know that Russia and China are in cahoots. They're allies. Anybody go look up BRICS. That means that India, Saudi Arabia, China, Russia, all in cahoots with this new currency. They're allies. And the only thing that would have been an obstacle was that Iran and Saudi Arabia had some beefs, which is now done with. So now let's talk about the United Arab Emirates. If you have the United or the Arab world actually together, there's no more beef between them. You got to know that they're not going to let them push their way into Syria. So what does this have to do with the fact that Vladimir Putin released those images? We're going to show it right now. We're going to show. Let me see if anybody can see this book right here. Can everybody see this?
Yeah, we can see it, bro. The meaning of icons.
Icons. See all black figures on there. This stuff is not new stuff.
I'm gonna just solo you for a sec so you can see even better.
Yeah, this is not new stuff that they knew that it was black people there. Vladimir Putin wasn't sitting in the house. He wasn't sitting in a hole somewhere when these books came out. He wasn't oblivious that these books were out before he decided to open the Russian vaults. You can go buy this book, and you can see as much. You got some of them that look Zoidish, but for the most part, you'll see that the figures in here are black people. You got some of them that's Caucasoid looking. You got some of them, most of them are black. If you want to. They knew that these images were there a long time.
You know what?
Hold up, go ahead, brother.
You was telling me that you found that other book too.
I'm gonna get to that too.
Okay,
get to that too. So this right here in the icons, you can see a lot of these black figures on these books. So it's not like they didn't have an understanding these things were there. Got another book. It's an old book that hasn't been beat up over the years, but it's actually called Ages or Races and Churches of the Kremlin. And you can see some of the artwork on the back. But if you go into the book, it's at the Kremlin. Where you can see a lot of these figures. You see a lot of the so-called buildings and all that in here. But you'll see that it's not, but you got black images all over the book. It's not like they had a misunderstanding. You see, you got black images where they knew that these things were there for years. It's not new. So why is it important that he released it publicly? We have a similar situation that happened many, many years ago when so-called Adolf Hitler had his issues with the so-called Ish people. Adolf Hitler did something similar. Now, we brought up the allies of Russia, China, Iran. They know at some point it's going to be a climactic confrontation between Israel and America, its ally, and themselves. So what does America do before they go into battle with somebody? They delegitimize that country. They say, well, we have every right to go in there. They got chemical weapons. They got every right to go in there. They got nuclear weapons. They got every right to go in there. They're oppressing their people. It's funny how that's similar to what Hitler had done. Now, in this book right here, it's called Nazi Germany by Time Life. What did Hitler do before he called himself go after those so-called Jewish people. What did he do? Check this page out right here, if y'all can see it. Hitler showed this in a slideshow to his people. You can see the slideshow right here. Let me make sure y'all can see it. This is where he's showing the slideshow. He's showing that this is the modern Jewish person, and that historically, this is who they look like. That this was their true image. So why did Hitler show his people that? I'm going to read you a little something out here. Mind you, this is by Time Life. I'm going to read you a little excerpt out of here. And it reads, in one of the segments of Nazi instructional films to the right, the genetic heritage of the Jews is purportedly traced to original Negro, near Asian and Hamitic peoples. Hence, the film concludes the Jew is a bastard. Not us being a bastard, but boy right here. Boy right here is the bastard. Because he don't look like them. This is what Hitler said to his people. The Jew is a bastard. Below the villainous title character of Judge Seuss, a violently anti-Semitic melodrama, spin schemes with contrary Rabbi Lowe. So hey, obviously they go ahead.
Sorry, bro.
Now go ahead.
I interrupt because when you said the Jew's a bastard, that made me recollect towards the scripture where it says a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
Right. So the whole purpose of showing us that before he went in and so-called did what he did to those Ish people, this is the type of thing he was saying, like these people are bastards in that they don't identify with the true fathers or biblical fathers of the so-called true Jew people. These people up here, these dark people, I'm just show it again real quick. So it's not this ain't a book I wrote or did I make. And like I said, it's called Nazi Germany by Time Life. I think most how I found it because a lot of my books was misplaced. But that before he did what he did and before he got the wind behind his back, he said, man, they're not even the people of the land. They're not even the real Jews. And he showed those pictures to say, look, man, what difference does it make if we expel these people? Why are we talking about Vladimir Putin? It's because Vladimir Putin revealing those images is a political move based off his alliances, his allies. He knows that eventually they have to get together with their allies and they have to have a reason or have some of the reasons why it's okay for them to battle those people about that land or battle the so-called modern state of Israel along with America. So revealing these images is not to hype us up or that the biblical figures are black. Revealing these images is more about what politically is soon to come, their political and military situation to come, and put it that way. It's more about what has to happen in conflict than souping us up that they care that these people are black. They knew that already, which is proven in the book The Kremlin, The Icons, and multitude other books they knew already. You go to Bovina Russia's all over the walls. There's a tourist attraction they knew. So why would he reveal it as if it's some new thing? Why would he reveal it? It's because it's about delegitimizing those people prior to the conflict to come. Now, is it just me? Is it just salt of the earth to think this is the case? You know, what does it say in Ecclesiastes? What has been shall be, and there's no new thing under the sun.
Yeah,
the same that is written aforetime. The same actions that they took before, they just do over again. So when we're looking at these pictures, I know it sounds good to be like, yeah, I told you the biblical figures are black, but what's the true motivation? It's because their allies, China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, America, the United Arab Emirates, those people of so-called Arab descent, their allies are a direct conflict with the Jewish people in America pushing along those borders to take more and more of the so-called Middle East, leading their way into Syria, into Damascus, finding their way back into a lot of Ishmael territory. That's what it's coming from. That's what they're really trying to show. That's what the motivation to release those pictures were for. Brother, y'all want to address anything that was said?
No, I mean, Other than what I already said, when he that was striking to me when he said that they were bastards. But yeah, we all understand that that it's basically war propaganda. You know, they're pushing out information to delegitimize their standing so that when they do go in there that they can go fully in full violence when it's time to go to war. And to kind of draw back any sympathizers to, outside of the nation and even inside the nation. You know, they did the same thing with us. You know, they delegitimized our standing with God in order to make people not feel some kind of way when they seen us being slaughtered. You know, so when they start bringing these things into the conversation, you can understand that they're equipping themselves to get ready to go full on war with these people.
Yeah, it really is no when we see these things happening, when we first because as we know, the Palestinians and that little strip that they were placed at in Gaza has been going on for years and years and years, right? And we always saw this, but when we saw this elevate and we saw how hard Israel hit back against the Palestinians. People, a lot of people said that this was ordinary, right? But it's just kind of come lately where literally the world has turned against Israel, let's say. Um, and are saying that they're committing genocide of the Palestinian people, that they had them in some apartheid state for many, many years. And how can you blame the Palestinians for striking back? But Elijah, you really kind of laid this out on purpose, kind of perfectly, to just say that this is all scripted in a way that nothing new is happening. Um, and I think that the world is going to, kind of turn against Israel, Israelis as it is, and kind of put them, for lack of a better word, put them in their place. And then we're going to see some new and more biblical things come to pass. So good job in your explanation, Brother Elisha.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things are laid out for us. And it's funny that look, bring up that comment that you just showed again with the dude Bible English. If you don't mind, I just want to show something because he brought up Russia and Ethiopia, which is interesting statement. Real quick, let me just show something real quick. I don't know if anybody ever seen this book before. It's called King Solomon's Garden. I mean, really looks just like a regular Caucasoid, depiction of the Bible. Like you see all the stuff in there, but just going with the connection between Russia and Ethiopia. Now, if you just look at the skin to the book, you got a lot of depictions from Ethiopia, and these depictions show all the Ethiopia, all black Israelites. Even though inside the book, it's really just the same old whitewashing of history, and then you just show that this is a part of the book right here. And you can see how they depicted the biblical figures in this book. And if you go to the back, and you can see right here, you can see him carrying the lamb on his shoulders, feeding the goat. And if you go to the back, or you can, oh, my bad, one more thing, you can just see, if I can do it right. Where is it at? Well, one of them is showing Bel and the dragon that you see in the Apocrypha. The thing right here, you see that. So if you go to the back of the book, you see the same. And this is done by the Ethiopians. The Ethiopian was a Coptic church. But when you go inside the book, as it says in, we believe, Wisdom of Solomon 17, they took his image and they changed it. You see a lot of the images that you see in Russia that were black or white in this book. Just to put that out there, that a lot of these things is done to deceive the people, and this is the even the purpose with Hitler. If you go back to so many years, it looked like Hitler really hated black people. That's what the push was. That's why if you go back to the 1930s when Max Schmeling first fought Joe Louis, it was in Jesse Owens ran the Olympics. I don't know if people remember that history. It was as if the black man, they made us feel like we were going against the main protagonist of hatred towards our people, white power, and that he hated black people so bad. What was his true feelings? How much did he truly hate our people? Why was this the narrative that was spun to us? That when Max Schmeling knocked out Joe Louis, they claimed it was white superiority. And then when Joe Louis came back and he knocked out Max Schmeling, it was like a victory for America. It was funny that white power was the victory for Schmeling, but all of a sudden it's a victory for America. So-called Israelite black man didn't have a victory even then. But the spin was that Hitler hated black people. It's funny how his hatred tied up to hating the Jew and hating black people. When historically, Hitler didn't say anything greater or lesser against us than Abraham Lincoln, who said certain things about our people. I can't quote him exactly. Just highlights of what he said about he would have left us in slavery. What did he say any different? But the spin was that he hated us so much. It was as if America went to war with its allies because Hitler hated us so much. He hated black people so much, and it was white that he wanted to go against them to, I guess, restore our honor, which we know is not the truth. Seeing as though a lot of our people fought in World War II and couldn't even go in a restaurant or a public bathroom or drink from a water fountain when they came back here. So what's the real motivation behind these things? Hence our next segue into what we were going to go into. Brother, if you don't, can you roll up that video on Haiti? And I just want to talk about something real lightweight in there real quick about that situation in Haiti. Brothers, want to say anything else before we do that?
Oh no, I think you covered it, bro. I got that video up. Remember, it's an hour. I didn't do any timestamps on it, but maybe I could just pull out some of the things we want to see. So go ahead.
Well, what we'll do is we'll put the link inside the description, and they can view it themselves, and we'll highlight what we observed inside the video. But I just want to show the start of the video, and then if you don't mind, Google the coastal islands of the Caribbean. Just take a look at those islands. If we could just get an image of those. I think the start of the video shows a depiction of Haiti and Dominican Republic. This to start the video, and then you see the start of it. Fair use.
All right, I'm pulling it up now. I'll have it up in a second.
All these things is prevalent to the psychosis that our people is in this country, like how our mind works when it comes to viewing the nations that have oppressed us and spin certain propagandas and disinformation to us. But yet when you get online and start talking about they want to ban you. All right. That's actually, go ahead and play it a little bit, brother.
All right, give me a second.
You gotta start putting more than $5.
12 million people in the Caribbean.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Just in fact, you could just pause it right there. Now in this video,
could you hear that?
Yeah, we
okay.
Did. What was you saying, Brother Bonnie?
No, I was telling Najee, man, I seen it load, and I said you got to start putting more than $5 down on your internet.
I still got dial-up, bro. Still got dial-up.
Yeah, man. Look, stop parking next to Wawa trying to show videos to people. Siphoning off their Wi-Fi.
Oh man,
yeah. But all things real. If you look at Haiti, and brother, if you don't mind, don't grab up a Google of the coastal islands of the Caribbean. Just give me a view of the Caribbean islands, and we're going to talk about how supposedly Russia has tanks that just poured it in Cuba. But why is this important? And mind you, this is not to talk about the 12 tribe chart, but just to give an understanding on why the coastal islands of the Caribbean, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and all the ones that associate with it, why they're always left in poverty, why they're always under some imperial rule, or that they're always under some type of third world status. Why is it that it's important to keep them in poverty? Some, I'm pretty sure that if they have black skin, most of the brothers and sisters would say that they're Israelites. So let's just pretend we're talking about the ones that are dark, just so we don't get diverted into going into pigmentation. Brother, grab up a Google image of the coastal islands of the Caribbean now. They just got a view of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. That's what we're looking at right now.
Right. Let me I got it up. Let me I'm gonna stop sharing this and share it. Give me 1 second.
All right. So while the brother's doing that, I just want to make if you watch this video, which we're not going to, because it's an hour long and we didn't timestamp it, so forgive us for that. But inside this video talks about the Haitian president that moved for $21 billion in reparations for Haiti, and how France and America continuously destabilized Haiti to keep them impoverished, and did not, and also usurped or caused the fall of that particular president, and he ended up leaving the island because he moved for reparations. But when you think about $21 billion, that's actually lunch money for some of the rich elites in this country. When America is giving out 10 times, 20 times more to the Jewish occupation, even though they never oppressed those people. They've given out billions of dollars in reparations to many different societies or peoples. But why is it that the coastal islands of the Caribbean have to remain in poverty? They have to remain poor, whether it be the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Turks and Caicos, Cuba. Why is it that is important? And particularly when you talk about Cuba, why is it the Bahamas? Why do they have to stay in poverty? Because some of these black tribal people are in probably the most strategic location for America's enemies if they were ever to side with any of America's enemies. Hence why America has went so far as over the years to make Cuba always a communist state. Always make it look like Cuba is such an enemy to America because they're communists. But oddly enough, the university that has one of the best medical centers on the earth, that's actually free for you to go to school to become a doctor, is in Cuba, which American doctors go to for free. Number two, the pharmaceutical drugs that the pharmacy companies get their pharmaceutical drugs cost pennies in Cuba, which they get from Cuba, buy freely, and make them and bring them here and charge you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. But this is supposed to be a communist country that America is enemies with and that they deal with Russia. But why is it that it's necessary to villainize or even leave in poverty these islands? And like I said, because strategically, if any of these islands were to side with America's enemies, they would be one of the most strategic areas of an offensive or defensive position to the Americans. Why is this important? You've always seen in the news how America talks about certain weapons can't reach to America. Iran, oh, they can't. They don't have missiles that'll reach to America. They don't have this country don't have missiles that'll reach to America. It's always been about reach in the technological warfare of other countries. So that's like a defense. Some saying, well, some can make it to California at best. But if any of America's enemies were to side with any of these islands, you're right on the borders. Everything would make it then. So keep them impoverished. Why? Brother, go to the book of Exodus where it talks about our people, that the Egyptians feared of our people side had joined with their enemies. If you don't mind, Brother Bond, can you grab that up?
Yeah, just a second.
One of the biggest fears that the Egyptians had, and we know we're in modern Egypt, is that the Israelites, our people, would side with their enemies. And the Egyptians feared that. That's what motivated them, at least according to the biblical speech of it, that they feared that we would side with their enemies. Maybe the Cushites or maybe the Syrians or whoever. They feared that with us living in Goshen so close to where they are, that what if we side with their enemies and help their enemies fight them? Look at the situation in Haiti as an example of what we're saying right now. Haiti's president moved for $21 billion in reparation, which is nothing. I mean, that's lunch money to Bill Gates. That's lunch money to the other dude. I can't remember his name, the guy, Warren Buffett. That's nothing to give a country to get some type of infrastructure. But if you look at that documentary we just showed, that $21 billion was enough to usurp the acting president and destabilize the country to damn near ruins, in which right now Haiti is in complete ruins, overrun by the gangs with no governmental structure right now, to the point where the UN, by the motivation of America, is sending in Kenya to call itself destabilizing the land. Why would $21 billion make them destabilize that country? Because they know that where Haiti is located, or anybody that lives within those coastal islands of the Caribbean, live at a situation where if their enemies were to side with them, that those ports, because they're islands, would be such a strategic advantage for those nations that is America's enemies. No different than what happened in ancient Egypt when the Egyptians worried about our alliances when we were in Goshen. Brother, did you find that yet? You read that real quick. Brother Bonnie or Brother Najee, read.
I believe it is.
I got it.
He just had it
You
up.
got it?
I got it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So Exodus 1:9, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
Why is that important? Why is it that that's what we're noticing again with the coastal islands of the Caribbean? Everybody knows the coastal island of the Caribbean is a place to go and jump on some cruise ship and go have your best vacations. To go, these are tourist attractions, but yet the minerals, brother Najee, you remember we talked about the other day, the uranium.
Yeah, uranium or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Haiti has a material that doesn't burn at the highest temperatures, which is very bad, called uridium. And it's similar to how, if you look at the Black Panther movie, how they had what did they call in the Black Panther movie? Vibranium?
Vibranium.
Well,
Vibranium.
anyway,
Yeah.
they got that vibranium storyline from this natural resource that's in Haiti called iridium, which is supposed to be worth billions per ton. And Haiti has a multitude of it, supposedly over some asteroid that hit the island many years ago. That's the storyline. It doesn't matter whether we rock with that or not. The point is this, is that Haiti is mineral rich enough that they should be one of the strongest, wealthiest countries on the earth, or more particularly, at least should be the strongest and most wealthy of the coastal islands of the Caribbean. But yet they have never profited at all from that vibranium or iranium. What's that? I said vibranium. I think it's vibranium. Iridium. I'm sorry, iridium. They have never profited from it at all. And you see the storyline of it. How, if you look at the Black Panther movie, how that in that particular movie, their main source of wealth and technological advancement to their society and being self-sustaining was the vibranium. This is how they made their weapons, their clothing, and everything. Only difference between that and the story in Black Panther and Haiti is that in the movie they were wealthy and the most technologically rich inside the movie, and Haiti has yet to profit at all from the natural resource in that island. And we can go far as the Congo, black diamonds, white diamonds, red diamonds. You can go everywhere where black people have mineral riches. They have not ever been able. It says Barbados has billions in asphalt, and I didn't know that. So thank you for the information. But even with that, Barbados does not profit from that asphalt. They don't profit enough to be a significant power on the earth. Even one of the so-called, I can't remember what his name is, but he actually has billions and billions of dollars in oil. He's probably one of the number one offshore oil. Iridium, exactly, was equal to vibranium in the movie. It's a reason why you have to leave those islands poor. Number one is because some of them are Israelites. Number two is because America fears, modern day Egypt fears exactly what the ancient Egyptians feared, lest they side with our enemies. And because we were in Goshen, right on the borders of Egypt, we were in prime territory to be a significant advantage to the enemies of Egypt. In the same way, our brothers and sisters is in the coastal islands of the Caribbean. Why they're left in poverty? Because they're in a significant position of advantage for any nation that is actually at odds with America, if they wanted a strategic or military advantage or good position against this country. That's why it's always been important to make sure the coastal islands of the Caribbean remain poor. No matter how much minerals they have, no much money they have, no much tourist attraction they have, they always remain poor. But why? Why would that be? Why would $21 billion make you destabilize a country? And that's exactly why, because Haiti being the face of a revolt, that they freed themselves from the French government. The last thing you would want for Haiti is for them to be the picture of the model that we might ourselves in America say, well, shoot, Haiti did it. And look how they're thriving. Look how they're mineral rich. So Haiti has been destabilized continuously. I implore you to go watch that documentary on that. Now, brother, y'all have anything y'all want to say to what we just articulated?
No.
Uh, n- uh, n- Not really. I'm looking for maybe a piece of that video. I did put it in the chat. So hopefully, fam, if you have time, the video is only about an hour. If you have time, I strongly suggest you check it out. It's a really good kind of quick summary and rundown of the things that Haiti has been through and why the Dominican Republic is so different from Haiti in terms of economy and wealth and their status for the rest of the world. I am trying to find a piece of that video, Brother Elisha.
Towards the
If you,
middle of the end, it talks about the president of Haiti when he left the land, when he asked for the reparations. If you can find that part
yeah,
of the
yeah,
video.
I'm gonna do that. Give me like a minute.
Right. So just going on with the what we were just speaking about. Matter of fact, I got a video that talks about the iridium, um, and I'll try to put that on there as well to show that there's a motivation. Like if anybody has ever wondered why some of our brothers and sisters, if you acknowledge them as such, I'm pretty sure we acknowledge Haiti and Jamaica and them as our brothers. And I'm just saying that the whole area is this is the motivation, in my estimation, according to any discerning spirit I may have regarding how things have transpired there, and the brothers that brother Bonnie and brother Najee as well, is that these things are prevalent to the situation, or just a rehearsal, or a just the same thing happening when we were in ancient Egypt, when our enemies, or when the Egyptians at that time were concerned with the very thing that the Americas are concerned with, and which is oddly enough is that it's been reported recently that Cuba or Russia has just started putting military vehicles in Cuba. Now if anybody ever seen um, the second one to Escape from New York, I think it was called Escape from LA. And if you look at Escape from LA, I swear, I mean, some of the stuff is scary how it imitates the current climate that we're living in. If you go to Escape from LA, and maybe I'll try to grab a clip of it, at the very end of the movie, all of America's enemies has finally made it to its shores, and they push a little Snake Bliskin pushes a black button or a button, and basically an EMP hit, basically similar to Leave the World Behind. Some of the electronics, all the electronics go out, and America's enemies were at its borders. Guess who his enemies were? The people of the coastal islands of the Caribbean, chiefly Cuba. Now, why would they put that in their movie? That in this apocalyptic world, that the only thing was holding up this country was its defenses against the coastal islands of the Caribbean. They ain't do a lot of time mentioning Russia, all these other places far off, but the actual people that come from those islands was how it depicted at the end of this movie. Return, I think it was Escape from L.A., which was the second part from Escape from New York, with Kurt Russell. What his name is? Kurt Douglas? No, Kurt Russell. I think his name is. Was in that movie. Just look at the very end. Matter of fact, you can go on YouTube. See, I'm going YouTube, see if I can grab up the end of that movie, Escape from LA, and you can see the connection. Let me see. I'm gonna grab it up real quick. Just give me 2 shakes, and you can see what I'm talking about. And particularly at the end of that movie. Let's see. End of Escape from LA. When escape from LA. See if they got that end there. Okay, here we go. Matter of fact, here it goes right here. So we're gonna play this ending real quick. If and just look at it in spiritual context. These things you got to look at spiritually. Look at the climate today and look at these things spiritual. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to play that. We're going to play that clip. Matter of fact, fair use, brother. Should we play the fair use again before I play this? We already played it, but
We already played
right.
it. I think as long as we scream out fair use before we play another video, we're good.
All right, so here we go right here. Look real closely.
Shut down the third world.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, we can hear, bro.
All right, so he said shut down the third world. Let's see.
Shut down the third world. They lose, you win. Shut down America. You lose, they win. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
So what are you going to do?
Disappear.
He's entered the world code.
Now, obviously, the world code is 666. Oddly enough.
No target code. Sir, that'll shut down the entire planet.
I told you, you'd better hope I didn't make it back.
You push that button. Everything we've accomplished for the past 500 years will be finished. Our technology, our way of life, our entire history. We'll have to start all over again. For God's sakes, don't do it, Snake!
My name's Pliskin.
He did it. He shut down the earth.
I'm gonna stop it right there. Prior to this particular scene, it actually said that Cuba was on the borders of the country. Let me see if I can get to play that part. But just to put it this way, that when he does what he did right there. Matter of fact, I think this is the part right here where it talks about. Let me see.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps.
See if we can get past that. But obviously his name is Snake, which showing that the serpent shut down their country. But let's see. Yeah, I can't get the clip where it shows that Cuba is on the borders, but you get the gist of the point. Brother, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
All right, so you get the gist of the point that after he pushes that button, it shuts down all the electricity and all that, which is funny. That's what they're talking about now with the so-called eclipse. And there's a video out now of Europe showing that Europe is in complete darkness right now because the electric went out. I mean, and I guess that could be a portion of Europe for whatever reason it went out, But in this particular film, it actually right before this part right here that we showed, it talked about how Cuba and those enemies of America was on its way. They were almost to the shores. And what that president was going to do is he was going to shut down America's enemies' technological power. He was going to shut them down only. But obviously, the white dude, the hero of the movie, he did what he do. He shut it down in some internal moral standard that he had, that he should shut everybody down. But a lot of these things that you see are just similitudes of what was to come. Like even when you watch The Simpsons and it shows different things happening, where The Simpsons talk about the eclipse and all these things. But all these things have a connection. All these things that we're looking at right now actually have been shown in some movie or written in some book. These are all things that they plan to do, like we read in Micah, the 2nd chapter, the 1st verse. They practice these things, they build up to it. These things, the Most High won't allow for them to do anything to us by surprise. Same way the Most High warns us of the prophecies of the book, what we ought to do, what we ought not ought to do, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, the faith of Yeshua HaMashiach, moving circumspectly as his people, returning to the covenant that he gave our fathers, is the same way he's not going to allow them to not reveal to us what they're doing if we're listening, and their motivations behind what they're doing. None of it is happenstance. None of this stuff is by mistake. All these things are motivated to an end, to the end. So we keep being aware of all the things that's happening on the earth. All these with the tankers, we're talking about with the electricity, we're talking about with the eclipses, all these things that a lot of people are afraid to recognize because they don't want normalcy to go away. Everybody in here in some way, shape, or form want to wake up tomorrow, go to work, plan their weekend out, go play football, watch basketball. You don't want to imagine for this country to be war torn or be usurped. You might say you do, but do you really move like that? Second Exodus is nothing without saying let us go. This let us go is nothing without the second Exodus. These things means usurpation. It means the fall of something. You know what happened? The fall don't just happen without any preemptive things that happen that you might notice. The fall happens with these things. Nations banding together, rumors of wars, destabilization in different countries. These things is how these things come about. The Bible is the prophecies is coming to pass as we speak, as we walk. Right now, today, our brothers of Salt of Earth, we're keeping the last day of unleavened bread. For the Jewish people, they start the new year on April 8th. Their Passover is on April 22nd, oddly enough. For some of them, at least. Why would their new year start on April 8th? They've made sure it's aligned that way. Why is their Passover on April 22nd? There's even some stories that they'll be sacrificing the red heifer, which actually means they're doomed, rather. But they'll be sacrificing the red heifer, supposedly on April 8th. Amongst all the other things that's happening, they're supposed to sacrifice what they would call the red heifer on, the day of the so-called eclipse. Michelle Alexander, let me see. What does he got to say there? 1 second. I keep jumping back and forth. I wanted to put the sister's comment up real quick. What does she say? The pink swastika is almost prophetic in what we are experiencing today with the Khazars and propaganda. I don't know about the pink swastika. I hadn't seen that. Brothers, did y'all want to address anything?
Yeah, I'm not sure I know anything about pink swastika. I wanted to take it back a little bit to what we were talking about with Haiti. I think maybe to watch the video. I sent out the link to the fam. Again, suggest and hope that you take some time to watch it. It really gives a really good understanding of the why Haiti had become such a pariah in the world, and why the Dominican Republic is sort of thriving economically while Haiti is not. I'm going to play a little bit of this video. I'm going to play from a part that I think will be really interesting to us. Play about 2 minutes of it just to give you an idea of what we were looking at and what Brother Elisha was going through. So hopefully you can see my screen, right? You see that screen,
Yeah,
Brother
yeah.
Vanya, Brother Elisha? Yeah, okay. If you can't hear this, let me know.
Viejo in the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic has been able to use the tax revenues from their booming tourism and mining sectors that are absent in Haiti to reinvest aggressively into education, healthcare, and infrastructure in the country, which has then only compounded the Dominican Republic's economic advantages over Haiti even further. And this is all, in a nutshell, why the Dominican Republic has become so much more prosperous than Haiti has. And with yet another foreign intervention into Haiti looming, it's unclear what, if anything, could end up fixing Haiti permanently in the future. Some arguments have been made that in order to fix Haiti for good, the country's economic sovereignty should be finally restored to it at the same time as the country's security sovereignty is restored. The argument goes
I don't know if it's just me, but I think the audio went out. You hear, brother?
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I was talking on mute. I stopped it for a moment and I was just talking. So did you hear up until the point? Up until what point were you able to hear
You
the
said
video?
something about the Dominican Republic before you went out. But
Right.
why? So I don't know if you want to play that part over, but just to throw something in there, but with the situation with Dominican Republic, you just also got to remember that Spain is largely establishing that. Like, so you got more of the European Spaniards that's helping the infrastructure of Dominican Republic more so than the indigenous people of the Dominican Republic, which you know it's a big divide between colorism in the Dominican Republic. Just to put that out there.
Right. And so what you see on the screen right now, you can look at it's going over some of the kind of the economy and what the French had imposed. They imposed a debt on Haiti for emancipating themselves, basically. So they made Haiti pay back all this money. So the rest of the video, I'm going to continue to play it, and it should explain some of the things that are on the screen right now that I think are really interesting. I'm gonna go play. Did any of you brothers have anything to say before I play a little bit more?
Continue.
All right.
That the French government who initially extorted Haiti with the indemnity in 1825, along with the American government and the banks like CIC and Citibank who profited off of the indemnity later, should finally honor the demands made by Jean-Bertrand Aristide in 2003 by setting up a reparations payment to Haiti totaling $21 billion, an amount that is still greater than the entire Haitian GDP. Without it, they argue, Haiti will continue not being able to invest in themselves and develop themselves, and they'll continue being a politically unstable and violent open wound on the Earth's surface that continues causing expensive problems for all of their neighbors down the road, like the Dominican Republic's new border wall, in addition to the hundreds of thousands of refugees fleeing towards the United States that Washington will keep having to deal with. If this next intervention into Haiti only restores the government's sovereignty in a security sense, and not in an economic sense with the reparations, then future costly international interventions into Haiti might continue becoming necessary, as they've ultimately proven to be after every single previous intervention that never attempted to make right the historical wrong done to Haiti in the first place. But the last time that a Haitian head of state demanded these reparations in 2003, its seeming result in a UN-sponsored coup, known forced exile to another continent, and 15 years worth of foreign troops on their territory that apparently accomplished so little in all that time that more foreign troops are going back to the country again only 4 years after they left. And as a result, the future of Haiti has arguably never been in more doubt than it currently is, while the Dominican Republic's future is bright enough.
So I think that's enough, and I think you kind of get the idea of what that is saying. I think everybody knows that Haiti was was the only slave country to emancipate itself. And since it had done that, it's become sort of a pariah of the world. And what part of what Brother Elisha was explaining before is that Haiti has always purposely been kept in a state of economic ruin. And part of what this video explains also is that there's been some natural disasters. There's been some ways of keeping Haiti, I would almost say, keeping the people almost locked in the land. um, Part of the video I played explained this border wall that was going up between Haiti and the Dominican Republic that was keeping Haitians out of going into the Dominican Republic to kind of better their lives. As we know, there's been an influx of immigrants coming into the United States, kind of coming from many other countries, but they are purposely keeping Haitians out of this country and returning them back to Haiti. And I often wondered rather, why was this so prevalent with Haitians in particular? It's almost as if they were being locked into their land, locked into that home, trying to keep them from almost escaping for better lives, if you will. So what Brother Elisha was saying before, I think is very prevalent. And I think, and this is just me, I think in the future we're going to see countries like China and countries like Russia getting into Haiti, and they're going to be using Haiti as a defense or as a rather a base for weapons. And if they can set up weapons in Haiti, they have a direct proximity to attacking the United States. And I think personally, this is something we're going to see in the future. So hopefully, fam, you will take some time to watch that video, because I think that video gives a really good understanding of the differences between the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and some of the reasons why Haiti has been so oppressed and kept down.
And also to go with what you were just saying is that just to keep in mind, the stabilization of the Dominican Republic is also is that it's been success with the racial divide there and colorism, and the fact that a lot of the Dominican Republic have pretty much denounced any attachment to being black or being of indigenous nature, or being from what the Tainos or from any indigenous people, and that the white infrastructure there is pretty strong there, particularly with the Spanish government. I'm not talking about the Spanish government in the Dominican Republic. I'm talking about so much as tied to Spain, which Spain is still an ally to I guess you could say the European powers. So so Dominican Republic stabilization is attached to its relationships with the white counterparts, compared to some of the other islands, the coastal islands of the Caribbean, that a lot of them want to try to at least give the appearance of being their own government, like places like Puerto Rico that are vessel nations that have their own elections, they have their own presidents and whatnot, but are largely vessel nations to European nations, like they're subordinate, subject to the same policies we might be subject to, even though they have their own elections. And that stuff is important to consider when you're looking at the reason for the impoverishedness of those nations. Like, if you look at how impoverished they are, it's a reason. It's been a concerted effort to make sure that black peoples do not reap the benefits of any financial resources that we might have. And why is that? Is because what would our alliances be if we did that? You can already see in Africa right now, some African presidents have already sided with China, talking about America wants to bring over their gay rights, and China and Russia is helping them with military advancements, military training, weaponry. And they're saying that America can keep its democracy where homosexuals run everything, but that they'll deal with China and Russia. And that's been one of the biggest fear of European imperialism, like their colonization methods, is that they want to keep our people at a disadvantaged position. Because inside their heart, going back to Nat Turner, is that they really fear retribution coming on part of the people that they've committed genocide against, rape and slavery, um, social degradation, poor educational system. A lot of their efforts, they're afraid that we are going to want to be liberated and even exact, um, I guess, vengeance on those things. So it's a reason why they want to keep us in a low position. It's two. What's the dude? I think his name is Ben Shapiro, and you got another dude, white dude, who always goes on rants about how, why black people are considered the highest in the murder rate. I can't remember the dude's name, but he's a funny looking white dude. I can't remember his name. But anyway, he tries to make it sound like it's because black fathers are not in the home. That's why black people are more criminalized regarding the murder rate. We make up 13% of the population, but 55% of the murders are committed by us. He says because the father is not at home. But the way he argues the situation is that black fathers just like to use black women as jump offs, and they leave parentless, parentless children. But statistics say that the black father is the most involved, and he doesn't consider the institutions that cause the black father not to be in the home. The reason I bring this man up is because he's given a face and a voice online. He's given more platform to speak, to really speak certain things about our people, to make it look like, hey, yo, it's the reason we're down is because of us, and it has nothing to do with white supremacy. It has nothing to do with anybody else. All these things go together to keep us down from reaching to our proper estate, and it's necessary for them. We cannot ascend because they know that that's their end. Esau is into the world. Jacob is the beginning that followeth. So a lot of these things is going around in the world. We just want to discuss a lot of those things and just bring some context, at least in our position, on some of these things. If there anybody that's inside the chat that wants to speak to what we've been talking about, or just want to make a comment, praise the Most High, anything. This would be the time before we sign off. If the brothers don't want to say anything.
Oh no, no, nothing. Should we? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any questions in the chat right now, or anything we want to bring up. So, fam, if y'all want to make any last minute comments, I think Brother Lasha, thank you, Brother Bonnie. You brothers did a great job, and just kind of talking about um, some of the things that are happening in the world today, and some of the reasons that they're happening. Um, I think not tomorrow, Monday is an incredibly special day. We're going to see the completion of the son of man, our Yahushua Mashiach, our King. We're gonna see the completion of that sign in the sky. Um, and what it does for me, man, is it just confirms and just tells me that the Most High is watching His people. He will rescue His people from this place, and just reminded me that His word is forever true. Um, it makes me fear the Most High. It makes me happy that I am one of His chosen people. It makes me, happy that He has revealed this sign to us, His people. Makes me happy to be awakened. Um, it's just an incredible thing. So I think Monday is a special day.
Brother Bonnie, you got anything you want to wrap up with? Well, Brother Bonnie, see if he comes on. If anybody wants to support the work we do here, just reach out to us if you want to support us, and any information that y'all want us to bring to the table. Regarding the eclipse, remember the eclipse is a sign. It's a sign of something to come, more than being the sign. Something can't be a sign of it. A sign can't be a sign of itself. A sign actually it comes before what it's a sign for, if that makes sense. So that's what the eclipse is. It's a sign of something to come. It's a sign of the judgments of the Most High. Matter of fact, and I didn't finish reading some of these other signs in the earth right now that's happening all at the same time, um, which we didn't finish talking about. But just to recap it real quick, the signs of you have in Japan, March 24, powerful earthquake. In Houston, Texas, you had a severe, massive hailstorms. in Houston, Texas, in March. You have, and this country has several huge tornadoes that happen in America. In Andover, a tornado in March 2024. California, April 2024, the devastating flash flood. California, April 24. Buffalo type snow. U.S. March 2024, massive rock slide. I don't know if people seen the video on that. Norway, March 2024, massive avalanche. Saudi Arabia, March 2024, huge flood. Like the signs are there. The signs are, happening continuously. Imagine when there's so many occurrences that you can't report one because so many are happening in succession. And that's what the nations have to get understanding. Their nation will never have stability against the things that the Most High is bringing because they have failed to let us go. And this is what we want. This is what we want from everybody in the chat. Say, let us go. If you like being in America, let that speak by you not saying let us go. But if you believe let us go, if you want to have the true Wakanda, the true restoration under our King, Yeshua HaMashiach, if you want to be restored into your natural state, say let us go. If you don't say let us go, let's just say that you're complicit with wanting to be somebody's bond servant or bondmaid, that you want to stay being called by another person's name. You like the Johnsons and the Jacksons and the Robinsons and the Gates and all these other names they give us. Say let us go. Support let us go. Constantly at your vocation be let us go. But if you're not gonna say let us go, just say I'm happy to be a slave. Everybody that's happy to be a slave, put that in the chat, and then we'll put that on the side of the ones who say, let us go. And we'll give a quick reminder of what happened in the book of Jasher to the people who that listened not to Moses and Aaron. It said that they died in Egypt. Because whether our people want to leave here or not, this place is going to fall. Whether you want to be here or not, this place is going to fall. If you got plans to go somewhere in the next 2 years, whether you want to be there, importantly, this place is going to fall. Get that like button up too. Like hit the likes. So it's not whether you want it to happen or not. It's inevitable. The same way Rome fell, all the nations that did such like will fall as well. So we gotta say, let us go. Let us go that we may serve our God without threat of genocide, without threat of being socially disrespected, without threat of somebody calling us crazy, without threat of getting fired. Let us go that we may serve our Most High in our land. Let us be called by our own names. Let's remember our master's crib again. Say, let us go. And every time you see Salt of the Earth from now on, we will be talking about the secondness. We will be saying, let us go. We mean that because every great thing, you want true peace on earth, it comes with the restoration of our people and the kingdom of our Mashiach under our Father who called us out of the midst of the earth. It has to happen. So Zion, remember who you are, that the Most High may remember the covenant he made with our fathers. Keep saying, let us go, that they might know what our position is when these things are happening. Right now, we're just sitting in bewilderment and in awe of the things that are happening. Right now, we should be saying, let us go, that they might know the difference between us and them. Our position is not the sign in heaven that the heathen is dismayed at. Our position is that the sign is that you let his people go. The sign is to tell you, listen, give up the righteous that's in your name. Give up the Most High's people. That's our position. We're not afraid of no eclipse, earthquake, none of that. The Most High has set us aside for life. What does it say in the Bible? He says, I know my thoughts concerning you, thoughts of good and not of evil, that have an expected end. Most High said his thoughts towards us is good. So if I'm standing outside and a tiger walks past, the Most High's thoughts concerning me is good. If I'm in the woods and a bear walks past, the Most High's concerns of me is good. If an earthquake happens and the earth is shaking and everybody's falling all over the place, the Most High concerning Israel is good. If the flood waters overflow New York City, the Most High's thought concerning you is good. Everything, every bad thing that the nations are afraid of is for our deliverance. That's if we have returned truly to the covenant, the laws, the statutes, the commandments, the judgments, The faith of Yeshua HaMashiach, our King, our Lord, in belief of the Most High in every word that he spoke out the scriptures. If that be our position, there is no death for us. There is no loss of life. That means no matter in this life, we are saved. That means if we die, we are saved. That means in every situation, only good can precipitate whatever we do if we believe those things. So fear is a luxury of a poor man. Fear is a luxury of a person who has no faith. A man that has faith, fear is an urban legend. He don't even know about it unless somebody read it out of a book. That's what fear is. For us, everything is our deliverance. That's why we got to say, let us go. Not just in the chat, but every time we're speaking. These signs are coming. Yeah, let us go. Dad, did you hear about the earthquake? Yeah, let us go. Man, did you see the size of that hailstorm? Let us go. Everything with us is to show that the Most High is doing this to deliver us, not to put us in fear with the nation to whom these things are given to. So with that being said, Brother Bond, you got anything you want to say before we close out?
Excellent. I don't have much to say. All I can say is walk in faith, walk in grace, and walk in obedience, Zion.
Till next time, Zion, all praises be to the Most High God of Israel, from our fathers Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, and with the restoration of the Most High's covenant with his people. Shabbat Shalom, and may we keep the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, judgments in his feasts, in his land, to the complete glory and exhortation of our Father in heaven, in perfect unison together, with one consent, with one voice together as a people. May that come upon us and our posterities, that it may grow, and that the nations who will cleave to the Most High will be in their lands, in the land of the living. So, peace and blessings, Zion.
Shalom and blessings, fam.